So next, we're going to have an artist who might be quite familiar to many of you and a friend to many of you, Nicholas Hay. So just give us a moment and we'll have Nicholas sit down with us.
Hello.
Nicholas.
Hello again.
Hello. It's nice to see you.
You too.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
I think that's right, is it?
I think you're on.
You're good.
Hello,
Can
darling.
I put this here? Is it?
Yeah, I
Is
think
it
you
visible?
can. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hello.
What's new?
Sushi being digested in
Really?
my belly is
Really?
the latest.
I'm drinking on an empty stomach.
You know where that can lead.
Well, hopefully home to bed.
Okay.
And alone. But anyway, it's so nice to see you.
You too.
Thanks.
You
Yeah.
too. You too.
I'm really glad that you were able to continue to be a part of this show because, you know, I love this series.
Yeah.
I love the strategies for the Sanity series. I mean, I think it's an ongoing theme. And I know you probably feel a bit finished with it, seeing that you're completely sane again.
I feel not completely sane, but that won't be a method that I use. Yeah, I'm done with these pieces. I've done
this one.
25 of them, and I think I kind of did that. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But it's actually nice to look back at them, and they're so detailed.
There they are. Well, you know what I'm really enjoying about seeing these 3 pieces pulled out of the series of a whole from your last solo show that you did with us. We've pulled these 3 as a representation of, well, this show Multiples, and they've taken on a new life in the gallery based on, you know, the company that they're keeping. I see them in an entirely different light. I'm seeing new things in them. I'm seeing new depth. I'm seeing new light. It's funny. It might just be kind of where we all are at right now, but they seem brighter and crisper to me. You know, we've gone through quite an 18 months, and now there's an elevated quality to this particular small exhibit, the Multiples exhibit. There's an elevated quality, the organic nature. I mean, there's dark and shadow and light, but I see them differently.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're easier to see because they've got non-reflective glass now, which I think helps a lot because they're quite detailed. Yeah. So the reflections weren't helping anything. But
that centerpiece looks fantastic with that you know, band of color running through it, and then almost what looked to me like stars above and below it.
Yeah, a kind of light emerging from darkness, I suppose, without being too on the nose.
We've hit that theme quite a bit tonight.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of that, and you know, I think that the very fact that that we can see that more tangibly now, that there is a lot more light in our day-to-day.
Yeah.
In every sense, in people's smiles and faces, and the fact that we are in the midst of summer, just having had our summer solstice and all of that. It's a very light representative time.
Yeah. Yeah. Longest day, right?
These pieces are available for acquisition. They show so beautifully in a series of 3. And just taking a moment there in that shot, they show so well with the other work. We've got Jackie's ceramic work to the left. We have Yelena Zerenkova's work, the photography work, on the other side of Jackie's work. That is a beautiful wall, very balanced.
Yeah, I always thought in the last show and here that tonally they kind of were quite complementary with the glazes of the pottery, which I really like.
Yeah.
I like all the pottery stuff, but yeah, I think kind of, I mean, the pottery is kind of better, but I was trying to get for that kind of layered, like subtle tonal feel in the backgrounds. And that's why the botanical inks, which layer very nicely.
Yeah.
And also, I guess, something I didn't really say before when we talked before about this work is that I realized that somehow it's a comment on patience and sort of, I don't mean anti, but it's a statement about the way that etching I studied. So the way that art used to be something that people would take an enormous amount of time over. And I just think it's process heavy, you know, you've got to wait for it to dry, and then you've got to, you know, it's layers, and then you got to kind of do the little outlines, and then you got to fill in the outline. I mean, it's process heavy, and it takes time, and it's a kind of exercise of patience, because it's freehand, so you can't really make mistakes.
Or rush through.
Or rush, you can't rush. So it's kind of, and maybe a little bit of an allusion to the monks with their cartography and stuff like that, and kind of the inks take time to make, and are made from leaves and bark, and with different elements in them. Iron makes the dark ink, made from acorn caps. So yeah, I think that was really important in this work, and you know, it's sort of sequestered with the COVID thing, so it was I had a lot of time on my hands, and it just seemed like a fit, like a natural fit for that time.
Exercises and contemplation.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think that's sort of in my character a bit. I'm a bit of a dreamer. So, yeah.
But it's nice to have somewhere to channel that, as
Yeah.
opposed to necessarily having to walk around in the practical all day long.
Or thumb twiddling.
Or thumb.
Which I like sometimes, but
but then again,
it can get old.
Well, right. And you know, it's always nice to have something to show at the end of the day.
It is.
Right?
Yes.
You can actually
Endeavor.
Endeavor.
I like contemplation, but I also like endeavor. I'm not, you know.
Alana Clearlake.
Not a lazy sod.
Was sort of, there you are. We weren't raised to be that, were we?
No.
Alana was saying earlier that she had a teacher early on that made a very sort of big impression on her by saying, if you're not creating your art, you're not an artist.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to.
There's a lot of people walking around saying, I'm an artist.
Well, that's kind of a mental trip or a identity trip, you know, to be seen as or something.
Right.
But you know, artists make art.
To get the ego out of it, and you just keep your head down and keep working, you might actually have something to show for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it needs to be fine art. Art's very broad, but yeah, you got to stay busy, but not too busy.
Well, yeah, not too busy, but then again, you know.
Everyone, it's personal.
I think that was one of the great things about the whole pandemic situation, is that, you know, it really separated all different categories of people, you know. Could you handle the solitude or the quarantine or whatever your aspects of isolation were? How did you adapt? How did you handle it? How did you use it? What did you come out with the other side?
Yeah, I was thrilled. I mean, it hardly changed my life,
no,
to be honest.
It didn't mind.
I mean, I was sort of horrified for the world and for sort of humanity.
Well, it was such an altered state.
Personally, I was kind of like, great, no one's going to bother me.
You could just sequester away and be a bit of a hermit and
just go like, oh, it's COVID, you know.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, right. Yeah,
but it was a brilliant excuse to not have to
Fantastic.
deal with the rest of the world. But then again, here we are, and we're now hybriding. You know, that's where we are. Yeah. We have to hybrid now.
Yeah.
And then there's whatever comes after hybrid, or not.
Fully electric.
It's a choice.
I don't.
Exactly. I think that's a great note to end our conversation with Nick on.
All right.
Before
Great.
I
Thank you. Good to
collapse
see you
into
again.
into a puddle of giggles. Thanks, Nick, for joining us.
Very welcome.
All right. We'll see you soon.
All right,
Bye.
bye.